Are you on your spiritual journey? Great. I've got plenty of movies to help you with this journey because, yes, it can be quite confusing, but it can also be quite exciting. It really starts with your mindset. Are you going to make out of this hero's journey or this fool's journey, however you want to call it, something of a horrendous experience, or are you going to view it as an opportunity to unlock more of your potential and become your most authentic self? The concept of play is going to be crucial for you shifting your mindset from the horrendous experience to this amazing opportunity to be more of you in this lifetime. So, the first movie that I'm going to start this series is Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I haven't chosen it because it's this huge masterpiece, but I did find it quite relevant to the awakening experience, and that sometimes we just need a little bit of help on this journey because we cannot make it alone. But there are some really great lessons in this movie that you might find useful, not because once again this is the movie that everyone that's on their awakening journey should watch, but if you wanted to watch it in a time where you need a little bit of a boost in your confidence, in your adventurous spirit, this is definitely the movie. The first lesson from Dora and the Lost City of Gold is to befriend nature, the animals and the plants. The opening scene of the movie is quite literally Dora running with her phone or camera in the forest and saying, "Oh, hey guys, I'm just being chased by elephants, and there's a crocodile there, and there's all these beautiful, mesmerizing plants that you get to see from the start of the movie until the end." And in reality, the animals and the plants are always around us, but we've gotten out of the habit of befriending nature. So when you go on your awakening journey, you're going to discover that you lose a lot of connections, you lose a lot of friends, and there's this sense of alienation that you might experience with people in your life, but also with the rest of the world because you're starting to see it from different lenses. And so, in those moments, it is very beneficial for you to think about nature as a friend, as a way for you to channel some of your energy, but also as a way for you to get some of your energy. Nature is a natural energy booster. The more time you spend in nature, the more you're going to feel like yourself, which is quite a beautiful way to befriend nature. Simply spend more time in it. And if you feel called to connect with certain animals more or certain plants more, that is a very common experience while you're going through your awakening. It's oracle cards, for example, they have the spirit animals, they have plants and stones. These are all elements of the nature that is all around us that we have forgotten about because of all these buildings. Everything is connected, nothing is random. Go and befriend nature if you are feeling isolated, if you are feeling disconnected, because I guarantee you there are trees, there are plants, there are some types of birds or insects or animals where you live. It might be in your building, it might be when you go outside, there might be a park nearby. You're going to notice all of it. The first step is really to start to notice the nature around you. And when you do, you're going to feel more called to spend time in it and with it. The second lesson that comes from Dora and the Lost City of Gold is be weird, be spontaneous, be authentic. There is a scene in the movie where you have to dress as your favorite star, and everybody else dresses as movie stars or, famous people, and Dora dresses as the sun. So that's her favorite star. And she starts to make these weird dance moves on the dance floor. And quite interestingly, these are dance moves that portray different animals and their style. So once again, when you befriend the nature, nature will speak through you as well. Which is not to say you're going to become animalistic, but that you're going to have more of an appreciation for all the living beings around us, including animals and plants. And when you are on this path of unlocking more of your authenticity, you're going to realize that we are all connected regardless. And the more you embrace the authenticity, your spontaneity, your awareness, you're going to feel more like yourself. Like you don't have to pretend. You're not going to enter situations where you have to hide who you are just so that other people are comfortable. If they're not comfortable and you're not comfortable, maybe you're not meant to be, in connections together, in friendships together, in partnerships together. Although one of the lessons in this movie was that you shouldn't judge people based on their, initial display of their character, because we're all trying to remove certain limiting beliefs and certain conditioning beliefs that we've picked up in order to survive. We're all learning how to switch from surviving to thriving and exploring and being happy explorers of the world. The next lesson, which is very important, is share the adventure with friends. You can't do it alone. This is the number one lesson, that you're not meant to do this alone. And you're going to reach a point in your spiritual awakening when you're going to realize that you are alone physically in the physical world. And maybe you're not even alone. There are people around you, but they don't understand you. They don't understand your soul. And they're not meant to, because they're not meant to awaken just yet. So if you're surrounded by people who don't understand you, it's because you have certain lessons to teach one another. And it's up to you, once again, to shift your mindset towards, what is this person trying to teach me? And I've recorded this in previous videos. If you have karmic connections around you, karmic connections usually tend to be the people that give us tough love. And they tend to be mirrors that show us what happens if we don't fulfill our potential. So they tend to have their growth blocked at some point in their journey, and now they're mirrors what's going to happen to you if you stop growing now. If you have a twin flame on your journey, this is somebody who triggers more of your growth. So they trigger you because you can quite literally see your best scenario version when you're around them, or once they've entered your life. But unfortunately, you're not there yet. So there's this comparison between the life that you're living now and the life that is possible, that you've seen through the eyes, through the glimpses, through whatever is being shown at you. And then there are soulmates that just make life easier. They support you in your growth. They understand that you have your own sense of weird and authentic, and they have theirs. But they're extremely happy to share the journey called life with you, because they are able to hold that space for you to be weird, and they love you for everything that you are. We're going to meet different bunch of people on our journey, and some of them might appear to be people that we're not meant to do anything with, and yet we have certain tasks to do with them, such as is the movie Dora, the Lost City of Gold, where she had to team up with a very unlikely team. She never saw that team coming, and that's what happens usually on our journey as well. We never see the people that we're meant to share these meaningful experiences with. The team forms when the player is ready. And in this case, Dora was the player. In your case, in your life, you are the player. You're the main player. You're the main character. And when you're ready for the next adventure, the team is going to appear. The team is going to show up in your reality, and it might not be the people that you think it is. So the first impressions of this team was that we had a nerd, we had a geek, we had a jock, or, wannabes. And then you have the guide, the person that has the most experience in this group. But after, sharing the adventure with them, they reveal different qualities. They left the box that we placed them in, that Dora placed them in, perhaps, although I don't think she did. She was always open to showing them that there is more to them, not just to life. But the nerd became courageous. The what was it? The geek became talented, and the jock became loyal. It's not that they became that; they just revealed that because they finally had an opportunity to demonstrate an aspect of them that they couldn't before, because they had the right space to do that. And in some ways, Dora was the person that created that space. And maybe your role in people's lives is to create that space for them to unlock certain abilities, certain skills. Doesn't mean that you're less of a main character in your life. It just means that you're finally understanding that you're becoming a teacher in other people's lives. You're not just a student, you're a teacher. And the guide, ironically, was the person that was the most fearful, because sometimes we assume roles that society tells us, so you should play that, or we think, I'm going to play that, I'm going to play that. And actually, that was never your role to play. You had a completely different role to play. And it was always Dora that was the guide in this situation, in this movie. And you might find that this applies to your life as well. That you're going through a spiritual awakening because you have always been the wisest in your group, the one with the most advanced emotional intelligence. And you're now just unlocking more of your potential, more of your abilities, because you have proven yourself to be worthy of unlocking these abilities, that you can handle more. The next lesson is that the real treasure is your inner light, your joy. If you've never watched this movie, they go on this huge adventure to find Dora's parents. And Dora's parents are looking for the lost city of gold because they are historians, that they want to preserve the history. They want to, find the gold for the sake of restoring the missing pieces in the history. So they're protectors of the ancestral knowledge. But the people that are going against them, the enemies, they're trying to steal the gold because that is what they care about. They care about the money. The real treasure is always your inner light, your joy. And there's a quote in the movie where actually I think it's the guy that says to Dora, "Oh, you're so annoying. Just shut up. Like, why are you always so happy? Like, why? Nobody's this happy. Like, how can you find that happiness in every single moment?" And that is because Dora is made of gold. She has a golden heart. So her golden heart allows her to be in a state of joy, allows her to love with unconditional love, and has this huge empathy for all living beings because she has aligned with that version of herself that is her highest version. And she understands an important lesson, that money don't make you the person that you are. It's you. You are changing the situations that you go through because of your personality, because of your essence. It's not the other way around. Although, yes, situations can change you. But it's when you show up authentically every single day and you own that, you stay true to who you are. That is when the real magic of living happens. That is when you align with people. That is when you're able to have these huge conversations soul to soul with them, because you're showing them that it's okay to be who you are. That is the purpose, actually. The next point is that your calling is connected to restoring ancient knowledge. As I mentioned, Dora's parents in this movie are looking for the lost city of gold. She's trying to find them because for some reason they went missing in terms of communication. So she thinks they're in trouble. And she starts this huge adventure where she's on a path to finding the lost city of gold herself. And it's quite interesting that the clues are being revealed to her, or she's had the right preparation for it because she was always meant to be the one to do it, because she does not have a corrupted agenda. And even if you watch the first Harry Potter movie, when the Philosopher's Stone appears in Harry's pocket, it's because he does not have a corrupted agenda. He needs that stone right now in the moment because it's going to save his life, but he does not have the agenda to remain living forever. And it's the same with Dora. She needs access to the lost city of gold so that she can save her life and possibly save the lives of other people, and also bring awareness that there is more to life. Call it nature, call it ancient civilizations, whatever it is, but she does not have the corrupted agenda of, I want to get rich, I want to get famous. She is following the clues that are being revealed to her from the universe, from her higher self, and she's working with all the elements. She's working with nature. She's working with her intuition because she knows she's here to do good and to be a messenger of good, a messenger of joy, a messenger of peace, a messenger of be weird, be spontaneous and authentic, because why not? It's your life. Just do it. It's your light. Share it. If you have an inner light, if you have that joy, if you have that drive, share it. You were given it for a reason. You were being able to maintain it for a reason. You're here to share it. This calling, it has to do with, as I mentioned, following the clues, staying true to yourself, but also learning the lessons, because nobody is perfect. And in Dora's case, she was not perfect, but she was learning the lessons because, I mean, look at her, she's quite young. A young person, doesn't matter how wise they are, how adventurous they always have lessons to learn. And that does not go away. That doesn't go away. Like, it doesn't matter what your age is, you always have lessons to learn. And one of the most important lessons, perhaps, is the lesson to play. Play, play, play. If you cannot make a play out of your daily experience of life, you're missing one of the most important lessons, that you're allowing the fear to rob you of your joy. Because when you are playing, there is no fear. There is joy, there is excitement, there is curiosity. And when you find yourself feeling like you're dreading the journey, it's because it's an opportunity for you to shift your mindset from, oh, this is an awful experience, I don't want to be here, and so on, to what is this trying to teach me? How can I make a game out of this? How can I make this more playful? How can I channel my inner child? How can I channel my inner adventurer? And this is why this movie is so empowering to the inner child in you, because it allows you to see that every opportunity is an opportunity for growth. Every single day offers hundreds of opportunities. It's little conversations, it's little habits, it's little books, it's little resources. All of them can teach you things if you allow them to teach you things. Older generations are here to protect us mostly. And Dora's parents not telling her certain things, they wanted to protect her. They wanted to kind of stop her from going on an adventure that might be too dangerous for her because they didn't think she was ready for it. But you cannot stop a person from their destiny. And in this case, it was Dora's destiny to go on this adventure. And it might be your destiny to go on a certain adventure that people want to stop you from going, not because they don't want to see you happy and successful, because they want to protect you, because they know that this journey is going to be difficult. And that might be opening your own business. That might be, you know, moving abroad, starting a family abroad. These are experiences that hold a lot of risk to them, because you're separating from the environment that is familiar, but you're also separating from people that cannot protect you, or, thinking that they cannot protect you. But if it's your destiny to do something, nobody can stop you from doing it. And in this case, older generations, sometimes it's like this false guy that appeared in the group. Spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't watched the movie. But he wasn't trying to protect them. He was trying to get to the goat. And sometimes older generations will appear as if they're trying to protect us, and they wouldn't be. And sometimes it's the age gap of reconditioning your mind and also carrying the old beliefs of the older generations that stops people from actually seeing the truth. The last lesson is, not all friends are true friends. And I'm referring to the family friends because, yes, this person that pretended to be their guide said, oh, I'm a friend of the family. And we all know that our parents and grandparents, they had acquaintances that we haven't met, that we've never met. We might have heard stories about them, but we've not met some of them. So make up your own mind as to who is a friend and who isn't. And especially when you're going through the awakening journey, reevaluate every single connection and relationship in your life, because some people, and I'll give you an example of that, will only support you in private, will only support you when you're sharing things, but they will never publicly express that they're supporting you, because on some level they want to be friends with both you as the person that's trying to achieve something, and with your haters, people that don't want to see you succeed, people who are gossiping about you. And that's not a true friend. That is just someone that's playing both fields because they want to see who makes it to the winning spot so that they can be there. And that is a type of corrupted friendship, a corrupted connection that is just, it's like an energetic door that is open, that's siphoning your energy, but it's not going anywhere, because a friendship is meant to be an open door, a bridge where you can go and share some energy when the other person can come and share their energy. So you're supporting each other, and it's an equal give and take. And so you will meet people that only want to support you when nobody else is watching, because they want to have access to you. They don't care if you succeed. They want to have access to you because you do carry something in you. And people that are awakening in a community that hasn't awakened, they do carry something in them for them to awaken, because it's time for them to fulfill something, to go on an adventure, to do something that is part of their calling. So be mindful of friends that try to make you act out of character as well. Are you ready to play? When you say, I am ready to play, life is going to present to you opportunities for expansion, opportunities for you to go on the most amazing adventure of rediscovering yourself and your authenticity. So, are you ready to play? That is the question. And go and watch Dora and the Lost City of Goats if you want to channel some of that inner adventure, because I guarantee you're going to find something in that movie that's a puzzle piece to your spiritual awakening. Thank you for watching. More movies are coming soon. And if you have a particular movie that you would like me to include, um, leave a comment. I recently recorded 50 movies to watch during your spiritual awakening because they had clues as to what it actually means to see beyond the veil, but this is a series dedicated to movies that help us channel more of the energies that we've lost in the process of being reconditioned as part of the human experience, as part of the false matrix. But we're entering the abundant matrix, and now more than ever, we need these movies that help us channel more ourselves. Once again, thank you for watching, and believe in yourself. The best is yet to come.